Hi, Will Hargrove, Corney Barrow, Head of Fine Wine, and I wanted to say a few words to you ahead of the release of Trotanoy 2019. Now, I've been very lucky to taste the wine twice already, once in Bordeaux at the offices of ETS JP Merckx in Libourne, and once at the Corney Barrow offices, 1 Thomas More Street. And both times I have to say I've been equally impressed. It's a wine I'm a massive fan of, but also a wine that, in terms of the press, in terms of what other people have been saying as well, always has a very high image to live up to, and it absolutely does that in 19. I think it's been one of the wines of the vintage almost the last 10 years now, and goes way back as well. By way of a little bit of history, Trotanoy was bought by Jean-Pierre Merckx himself in 1953. And in fact, it's been one of the very top Pomerol wines going back to the end of the 18th century, really. It has an amazing site, amazing sense of place. It's only 7.2 hectares, which is very small in wine terms anywhere, very, very small in Bordeaux. The plantings across the site are around about 90% Merlot, 10% Cabernet Franc. But actually, quite interesting about the 2019 is that it's 100% Merlot, as it has been for a couple of vintages now, and the Merlots did particularly brilliantly in 19. The name Trotanoy, which is a little bit different and stands out from, I suppose, other properties, really comes from Trotanoy, which means, as a real translation, too wearisome or too difficult to work, because the soil, and this is what makes the wine so definite and so intense and such a powerhouse, but with grace as well, is a combination of gravel and clay, and so that obviously can bake itself very, very hard and be very hard to work. But that also works perfectly in a vintage where you get a certain amount of heat, as they've had in both 18 and 19, because it really retains that moisture and helps the vines on the plot really do so well. In terms of where it's sited, it's very near La Tour of Pomerol and Bourgneuf as well, on the plateau of Pomerol, which I think is seen by many in 2019, along with maybe Pauillac and Saint-Julien as well, as being one of the very top communes of Bordeaux. And a lot of it comes down to the exact site that they're on. But one other thing we've done, which is slightly different this year, with the 2019 Trotanoy releases, we've actually included Espérance de Trotanoy, and it's the 2016 that we've included. This wine is always released once bottled, so this has been in the UK for a little while now, but we wanted to do it because it gives people the perfect chance to get to know a little bit of Trotanoy and to be able to approach it earlier. Trotanoy always replays patience, and in fact the L'Espérance too will do brilliantly over the next 5 to 10 years, but you can get a great glimpse by even drinking it now, and I've had this glass on the go for a little while just to give it a lovely bit of air. But L'Espérance is a little bit of a departure for the Merckx, because they're not massive producers of second wines, but in fact this comes from two particular sites within the Trotanoy sort of estate, and those two sites are La Piscine and Entre-Droite, which are on the northeastern side of the estate. And in fact, if you have it, the map that's in Neil Martin's book, which was drawn by Kelly Merckx, Edouard Merckx's wife, is absolutely brilliant and shows you exactly those very plots. So there we go. So we thought we would include it. The first vintage was 2009 for L'Espérance, but we think it's a really cracking example and leads into the Trotanoy 2019, which we're delighted to be offering now. Enjoy.